from a squat up. The left leg was lagging a little bit, but
But I would like to,
You just turn?
because if you go with this,
No,
but then you gotta go to.
when's your birthday? May, baby.
where we got?
Oh,
So
happy
before
early
this
birthday. Wow.
Approve his request
You sure
until
could.
December.
We're supposed
I
to
was
call Kalen when that one's,
That's what I was just talking to, that's why I'm like,
okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
I was gonna
That's where
mention to
Tracy
you
was.
95th Street, and we can talk about this later. In the winter,
No,
can
it's a
we do
prison
just a
district, so I
one-side
mean-
parking? That street is,
I would like to respect.
I would not like to live on that
Yeah.
street. When I'm going down it even today, there's 3 cars parked on each side. You can't even get through.
Take a look.
Yeah, so we can discuss that later.
We all ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are we gonna take 12 and 13 first, the joint? Okay. And then they'll do it over, no one else will run a jacket back and forth.
Right, correct.
Okay, we're all here. Item 12, communication from Director of Public Works regarding promotion of Don Molson to Electrical Superintendent.
Move
Move
to
approval.
approve.
I'll second it.
It's
You're
been
fast.
We are.
Take
moved
care of some. You know
and
what?
approved. Is there any discussion?
He sounds like he's well qualified, Mr. Chair.
Yes, anything you wanna share, Dave?
Yeah, he's been with us since 2008. Quickly has advanced from a maintenance repair to electrical status to a certified electrician. I think Pete can attest to his knowledge of the high voltage circuitry. He had a good trainer in Dave Young, and he's just carrying on the torch, so to speak. But very reliable, very knowledgeable, you are correct.
How long has he been with us?
Since 2008.
2008. Okay. Good to know.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And we have number 13, communication from Director of Public Works regarding promotion of Brett Wellenzine to Fleet Services Superintendent.
Move to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? And I will ask Public Works Director Dave to tell us about Brett W.
So Brett has a very fast track. He was hired or employed by the city in 2013 as a maintenance repair, a general labor type position. He advanced to a mechanic, and then from there he also advanced to a lead mechanic in 2014, and he is since recommending for a promotion as the fleet services superintendent. Very technically savvy. We do have our new software, and he's very good at troubleshooting and helping his staff with that.
And Jim Lou was prior?
Correct. So
Okay.
the previous person,
retired?
Jim Lou, who retired,
Okay.
I believe, February of this year.
Okay.
And he's been in interim status since then.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, and it's been brought to my attention that the TVs aren't on.
Oh, good.
I got dressed up tonight, too.
I wore somewhat purple. And
Okay,
they're not going to be on, is what it is?
Never happened before.
They
Okay, we,
usually call on the telephone when.
I don't know the number.
Okay.
Well, we don't always have video anyway.
Okay. We'll just keep chugging along here then. Now we move to item. You want me to hold off, Richard, or?
no, you can still go.
Okay, we're still gonna go. Item 32, resolution to approve a cost-sharing project agreement with the city of Brookfield for the reconstruction of the storm sewer under 124th Street, of which the city of West Allis's share is $12,500. I see Pete is here. Do you want to share anything with us tonight, Pete?
It's just
an old sewer, we actually don't even know how old it is, but, it was there when I resurfaced that road in 1994, so, it's been there quite a while, and it's collapsing, there's actually a little bit of a sinkhole developing. It goes from, our side to their side, so we're splitting the cost.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Is this where the bridge is?
No, this is up by Washington, up by
Or
Walker's.
wash further?
Further north,
Okay,
okay.
I see.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And item 33, resolution ordering preliminary plans and specifications together with a schedule of proposed assessments for improvement of South 90th Street from West Arthur Place to South 89th Street by minor asphalt resurfacing with miscellaneous walk repair and utility adjustments. I see Pete is here again. I'm sure you
I'm,
want to tell us all about it.
1982 it was done. Asphalt streets don't normally last 38 years, so we've gotten our money's worth.
Move for approval.
second.
It's moved and seconded. I would like to discuss. That is a lot of alligating. Say that, Tim.
Alligator.
You know what I meant, yeah.
Alligator,
Yeah, those
yes.
with the long snouts. How minor or how major are you gonna do this?
We're not, it'll just be like the ones we did on 94th, 7th, 6th, and 7th, where we leave the curb in. It's just an asphalt street. There's no concrete under there, but we'll leave the curb in.
Yeah.
And just take the pavement out in the middle. I don't
Similar to
know.
Cleveland,
Fairly cost effective.
Cleveland, yeah.
76 to 77.
Well, that did have concrete underneath, so we
Okay,
were
but milled it down,
resurfacing.
okay,
This just has gravel underneath. We'll take all the asphalt off and
Okay.
put new
great.
asphalt on.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
What did I miss?
Didn't you say we had something that you were gonna report out?
I don't
Yeah.
think- Did we have an
Oh,
add-on?
well, we already voted on those.
Oh, we did?
And they'll just
Oh.
go on,
Yeah.
at the,
Okay,
when we vote after recess.
Okay.
So,
all right, I make a motion we adjourn.
We already did.
We
We
did,
already
we did.
did that.
And there was a second.
Hello.
Welcome,
All in
Alderman
favor, say aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, and I turn it over to Alderman McCallum.
Thank you, Alderman Road.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
so Good, I mean, that's one thing I'll say. But anyway, let's move on with License and Health Committee meeting. All the members are present, so we can move forward with the first item.
Chairman Vitale, can we
Yes.
take 39 and 40 together?
Sure.
Okay.
So any questions?
Yes, I believe Kale wanted to be in here.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh, yeah,
one
we need
is-
Kill.
Hey, Pete, can you ask Kilda? Thanks.
Yeah, there is well, I mean, we can talk about it, I mean, we can, the fact is, we can request until December 1st of 2020, to me would be the easiest way to move forward. The other way around, if we go with the first item on the agenda, 39, and if we give them until 2021, then we have to go through assumptions and complaints, which would be more of litigations, I believe. It would be more, I don't know how far we'll go with that, So to me, will be the, but like I said, let's wait until city attorney show.
Why don't we bypass 39 and 40 and move forward to 41,
Yeah,
if that's
41.
okay to you?
So we have, I'm sure everybody has a list of 41 and 42.
Yep, and I make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
Second?
Yep, second.
So we have a second to
Discussion.
approve it. All in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Discussion.
Discussions, yes.
Yes.
What? Go ahead.
Have we had any complaints about any bar that has had a problem?
No.
From my understanding, no, and we
No.
did get a follow-up
Yes.
from Nick, I believe.
Nick, yes.
Oh, I guess I
That all
didn't
were
receive that one.
reviewed, and there was a recommendation
There
for
wasn't
approval.
any complaints at all from
Mhm.
anyone?
No, so you
No.
follow all the police reports, and everything is,
Okay,
in
thank
good
you, Mr.
standing,
Chair.
So we have a
Good evening.
second, all in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it.
Just to get you up to speed, Kale, we did just make a motion and passed on 41 and 42 based on recommendations to approve. Alderwoman Ranky asked if there was any significant reports on any of the applicants, if you can shed light. We already voted though, so I didn't see anything based on the communications.
Correct. ACA Serwin told me that those are applicants who had no new violations or nothing new
No,
since
no.
last approval, so there's nothing noteworthy.
Yes.
in the
Okay.
records.
And we're going to take 39 and 40 together.
Very good.
So, Kel, so explain to us how we should really follow through with this.
I'm
My-
gonna set out three options for the committee to consider, that I just wanna make sure that the committee is aware that there are three options available. The applicant is looking to essentially extend what was currently in place for Polly's Enfield trip over the summer, and asking to do so for 12 more months. The committee is free to do so if you wish. Alternatively, there's this expedited extension process that's out there. You've seen that on every agenda since about April or so. And that is how a lot of licensees extended their premises to an outdoor area. It's approved every meeting and then reapproved subsequently for every meeting after that. I believe that Alderman Weigel's going to be bringing a new ordinance to the next meeting, extending that further into next year. But wanted the committee to be aware that you don't necessarily have to approve the request on that timeline. You could potentially approve it for a month, let's say, with the idea of trying to get the Polly's and field trip on the same set as the expedited temporary extensions list, the rest of the 15 or so licensees. When Polly's originally applied for this, the program didn't exist, so that's why that was the only option they had at that time, and it really wasn't available when he started the process. He was just ahead of the game. So now that it's in place and it's been working all summer, I'm not sure if the licensee has any interest in doing that instead, or if the committee has an interest in saying, maybe we've approved this, but not that. I just wanted the committee to be aware that that was also an option, if you want to do so. And then finally, the other option is an expiration of an exterior, so the council, the committee could deny the application as well.
Chairman Vitale?
oh,
Go ahead. You were gonna
Yeah,
mention something.
so if we follow the directions of until 21, next year, so what would be the recourses for us?
If you would approve it as requested, it would be no different than approving this essentially 1-year extension of licensed premises. So if anything happened in that area or anything happened on the premises, you'd have to go through the revocation process, file a complaint, bring in witnesses, and go through the whole process. The other part of it is if that's the case, it actually would revoke the entire license from the premises. You wouldn't be able to parse it out.
Okay,
Chairman,
Now,
go ahead.
if you would do the other one with the expedited extension of area, if something would happen, you just simply would pull it from the subsequent council meeting and not approve the extended area after that date. And if you do that, then the actual license is not affected, and the licensee will continue, but there's no revocation hearing or anything like that, because every approval is only approved until the next subsequent council meeting.
okay.
So that's the impact.
And the licensee does not have to keep paying a fee to extend it, correct?
There never was a fee for the temporary extension. There is
Okay.
a fee for the special event. So what he's requested, there would be a fee. But
Yeah, pay 2 fees.
for what he requested, there'd be a fee, but for the temporary extension, I think it's either a very modest fee or no fee. There's no fee ongoing for certain. There might be an initial upfront fee for the first one.
So if we did option 2, he wouldn't have to pay a fee.
Either no fee or you'd probably get a refund of what most of what he paid. I think there was talk, of a $25 fee. I'd have to look it up to double check. I'm not even sure if they imposed a fee on that expedited extension process.
From my understanding, there was no fee.
Yeah, there was talk of a fee, but I don't know if it actually was imposed by the
And,
council.
and that was due to special circumstances
Yes,
stances due to COVID. Now, Chairman Vitale, if I may,
Yes.
I have some concerns with this. I would not approve this as It is right now for a year. I don't know that I would approve it for an additional month, to be honest with you. We did look at this as a special use for the summer. I know that there was precedent set with this, and I guess my question would be with you, Kale, is if Alderman Weigel is bringing this forward as an ordinance, possibly changing it to kind of business as usual. I mean, this was set in motion just for a temporary situation due to COVID. COVID is not going to last forever. We are, I think we agreed to the end of summer because the kids are back in school, virtual or not. Like I said, I don't believe even in Wisconsin that we need an extension of premise in the middle of winter with tents and bands and things like that when you have an operating business. And I know that, Polly, we're looking at guidelines that we have 25% capacity, and I know that will be a viable argument on your end. I was looking at, we were in phase 3, which is C, which was 75% capacity for the city. I see with numbers going down eventually that we're going to get back there. But like I said, I'd be more inclined to vote no on this, especially at a year. That's just carte blanche, and I guess I'm not looking to do that. So if we're looking to change an ordinance or we're looking to bring something forward that this is going to be a new way of doing business, I think we have to look at fees with this as well, because we did absolutely give grace to a lot of
Just a
people.
second, please. Just wait.
So that's kind of my points on that. So I guess I'm a little confused as to where we're going to go with it. I know what you're asking for, and as I said, that would most likely be a no from me. I don't believe we need an extra 12-month extension on this.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
I also agree with Alderman Suzette. I don't feel that that's necessary to extend it for a whole year. I would rather have no functions, no outdoor functions after 10/31. Because I can't see anyone having any functions outdoors during the winter.
Kegels does.
I'm sorry,
Kegels does.
That's an open rink.
what?
That's Kegels. Alderman Stefanski noted Kegels, and I knew that would come up too.
Yeah.
But Kegels is a public street.
Well, he has
That has an
also
ice skating ring. It's
skating
not a
rink and,
tent.
It can,
that activity, I would say, whereas I don't think there's a skating rink or anything on site at your bar, is there?
I don't know, can I respond to any of this?
yeah, go ahead.
Well, everything that I've talked to the Brewers, I've talked to different, the Pfister, nobody's expecting anything back till 2022. So these are church festivals, Summerfest, State Fair, Brewers, things like that. So I just wanted to go through, actually through the end of April. The reason why we did this, to go through this over and over again, is on my part, is okay, but I have a life too, that I have to do different things. I have talked to arenas to be able to do a heated tent so I can space people out more. So if that 25% comes in there, so I can do the same things where it doesn't have to be during the week. We ran bands, nothing at all at Field Trip. We did absolutely nothing at Field Trip so that we won't have any issues with that. We ran at Paulie's from 4 to 8 on Saturdays and 3 to 7 on Sundays. So those are not anything that was anything there. So with a heated tent, an enclosed tent, we had one call from a neighbor. We took care of that. That was everything there. Nothing else has ever happened as far as that. So I'm just trying to see things, because I have to set up a rental for X amount of months, for the heating in it, so that we can get that set. I have a lot of people that don't want to come in, but they'll be glad to go out to a tent, and things like that.
Thank you.
Alderman
Thank you.
Vitale, if I may.
Yeah, Kelly's got something to say.
I just wanted to clarify one point in that the ordinance that is being contemplated this time would not make it permanent, but would just extend, for right now, the outdoor expedited process ends November 18th. And that's the last one that would be approved unless this council takes action. So at the next council meeting, the idea would be to present it with an option to extend that. One suggested date is early March of next year. So it only would extend out for another 4 months or so, around that.
Alderman Vitale.
Yes,
Yes, if we extend then to March, then we're gonna extend again April through Labor Day. So this is what we really have to take into consideration. Now, a heated tent is no different, in my opinion, than the bar. So if you're 25% in there and 25% out there, and my biggest concern really is we do have a critical situation with COVID spreading. And we have a lot of bars, and may not be yours, but we have a lot that are not following that 25% rule. And that's concerning of itself. So now we're doubling that space, giving you an opportunity to have more people. And I've been through that area when you're having events, and it's well over that mark. And there's a lot of people that aren't really abiding by that. And unless we get a control under this whole COVID situation, this is just gonna go on and on and on, in my opinion.
I think we have two different opinions.
And I'm sure we do, and I respect yours on that, but what I really am concerned with, like I said, is that carte blanche giving you 12 months to 2021, and any other bar, it sets a precedent,
Absolutely
if I may
fine.
finish. And my concern is if we're looking at an ordinance, why don't we just look at an ordinance and change that as a special use altogether? And that's something we, as a committee, can take a look at, or we can look at as a council. But I'm pretty firm on the denial for this. I would move to deny. If there's any more discussion, you guys are welcome to
well,
ask.
we-
Then October 31st, you're saying you wouldn't extend it past October 31st?
No.
Okay.
I
That
mean,
was
the
per our
question
agreement.
is, we have to follow the, I mean, there's other three members here.
Right.
Mr. Chair, there was a
Alderman Rowe,
motion-
go ahead.
There was a motion by Alderperson Grisham.
But there was no,
Was that a motion or just?
It
I'd
was
be
a motion
inclined
to deny.
but the question is, it denied what? The first one, approved the first
last
one, the
one.
second, or the
I'll
third
second
one?
it.
No, there was 3 options given to us how we could approach this. The actual request is to extend it for 1 year, and I'm making a motion to deny that.
All three items, all
No,
three.
For
39 and
39
40.
and 40,
and 40, okay.
yes.
So you wouldn't be amenable to do something till the end of March or April? And why is that again? Because of COVID? I'm just asking, because I've been here 17 years, and I've not had any issues, for many things. I've been responsible, so I'm just
Well,
wondering what the.
In all due respect, that's not true. We had plenty of people come forward last time saying that there was an issue. That's why
Okay.
we extended it to the end of October.
To see what Kegels is.
If you
because
will
I-
let me finish, Polly. We extended to the end of October for that particular reason. To respect your neighbors, to give you an opportunity to make money as a business owner, and I'm not against small business whatsoever, but I also understand that your neighbors will deal with a tent year-round, with bands year-round, whether it's going to 8 o'clock at night, whether it's going to 10 o'clock at night. And I don't see, as a Wisconsinite living here all my life, that it's really necessary that we're having outdoor events in a tent throughout the entire winter.
Well, if you go 25%, I lose 75% of revenue. Yeah, I understand you own a business, when you lose 75% of revenue, so what is that? I'm just saying that when I have to make my point after being here 17 years, Kegels made their point, but I know people that have complained about Kegels, and I haven't heard anything ever about them. So I just want that opportunity, and really, the only way we stayed alive was by doing this. I did everything to do it as an expedited for everybody else, because they didn't have to do the same thing that I had to do. I went through, I was the guinea pig for the city to do these things. So I'm just saying, there's certain people that wanna come out, certain people that don't wanna come out. If we only have 25%, we have to make some of that up, so.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Road, no, first Alderman Road,
Yeah,
and you.
I mean, this is for discussion now. I would not be in favor of the motion. I would be in favor of till December 1st, 2020. We've had absolutely no problems with this bar down there. And the comment was made like, who's gonna wanna come out in the wintertime? That's not up to us to decide. It's his customer base is gonna decide if it's too cold or too snowy or too whatever to go out. And again, this is just me, we've got to do as best we can to work with these people. My God, we're just cutting them off at the kneecaps here, and it's just not right. And like I said, that's on my bike route every morning, and I rode past it every day, right? A lot of times they're out picking up all the litter along the street, they're doing everything we asked them to. There has been no fights, there has been nothing there.
Oh, it's
And the only thing I've heard of that's happened, there's been 2 complaints about parking and that's it. So to me, this is
that's
not
minimal,
a,
really. I mean,
this is
it's-
not a problem. Now, if you start using the parking lot at Pauley at Field Trip, that might be a problem with parking. And that's where I've got an issue with.
I say we can take field trip completely off. I'm okay with that. We didn't use it all summer. That's because we wanted to make sure that everybody was okay. I didn't sleep since this has happened.
Yep.
And every single day, wondering, I had a neighbor that was very interesting to deal with, and I dealt with her, and I gave her my phone call. I got calls at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning for different things that had no pertaining to me. But I took care of those things as well. So
And Mr. Chair, I just wanted to finish.
go ahead.
We need to protect our businesses in this city, and this 25% capacity is hurting them, and I'm not a fan of it, and I don't agree with it, but we need to do something to help these businesses.
Tom, Alderman, let's say.
My question is, how are you gonna heat the tent?
Sunbelt, had rentals along with, it used to be Carl's, but they're arenas now, so they have electric heaters. Sunbelt has, it's a in and out system, so it pulls everything out and reheats it, brings in new air all the time.
Okay, I was concerned you're
And-
gonna put in those propane heaters in, cause
No,
that you can't do.
no, 'cause
Okay.
and the thing is, I have no idea how much this costs. So it may be cost prohibitive. If it's $20,000 a month, there's absolutely no way I can do that.
I have a question then, with this,
Okay.
where's our health department come in on this, as far as if there's food served outside? Do we have any regulations when there's a tent?
So the
Yes,
way
but-
the way it works is as long as it doesn't create a new food service preparation area, then the existing restaurant license works for delivery of food from the existing kitchen to the outdoors.
So
Alderman Mario-Wago?
he could technically, really quick, because he gets the 25% capacity in the tent, 25% in the bar, he's now up to a 50% capacity for business, correct? Not
Well,
in
yeah,
the same location, but I'm saying he's increasing his business, which is a good thing,
so
but he's doing it separately in 2 different places.
So that it creates an odd situation. I see Ed is here. He might be able to help me with this, but generally there's also a restroom minimum. But yes, by having a tent, you're increasing your maximum capacity of your premises, and then you have to then cut it to 25%. But it's double what it was if you have doubled your interior by
Right.
having outdoors. So you can double the number of people even at 25%, and then I have to assume that the bathrooms would be the 25% of total capacity would dictate how many bathrooms are required in the interior. So I don't think any temporary bathrooms would be necessary, but I don't know if Ed has any thoughts on that. I got the thumbs up. So,
Yeah, basically, we're gonna, the toilet rooms are for how many people you have there, so, yeah, we're not gonna say, we're gonna assume that your inside is 100% full when clearly it can't be right now, so that's at 25%. I just had the same conversation with Capri earlier this morning, so, yeah, same thing, it's how many people you have there that we're gonna.
And we do have 3 extra toilets as of right now for outside, and so we've got permits for those also.
so to answer your question, effectively by having an outdoor tent area, you increase the total number you could possibly have on the premises by 25% of whatever the increase is.
Cool.
Alderman Mario-Wago?
Mr. Chair and
Yes.
committee members, COVID aside, my concerns would be, but as her Paulie now just said, he'd be rescinding his application for field trip, because, and honestly, we had 2 parking complaints about it this summer, and one of them I could just dismiss out of hand, because they couldn't park directly in front of their place of business, so they had to walk 15 extra feet. But my concern was that if he was gonna do a tent at field trip, then he'd lose all that parking. But if Paulie's ready to do that, I also agree that a year is a long time. I think Mr. Budiak already explained he needs to price some rentals on some heaters. He certainly would not need the heaters all summer. So, perhaps like a 6-month period. However we get there, whether it's end it and go to this extension thing that's gonna roll over month to month. But I also understand what he wants, the certainty that we're not gonna yank, because if he signs a contract to rent heaters for 6 months, and something happens where we yank it out from underneath him after 1 month, although we haven't. Honestly, I think if we look citywide, where we've done all of these, I don't think I've seen one problem anywhere. Do any of the alders field any issues with any of these? Sidewalk cafe, patio, outdoor beverage service? I don't think I've seen a problem I haven't heard of one. I'm not on this committee.
I've only had one complaint, but that was basically uncalled for.
Yeah, so I think the idea that we need to be supportive of our small businesses, and that, I think a year is too long, and I like the idea that he's gonna take a field trip off, because he's gonna need the park, hopefully he'll need the parking, so that would be my recommendation, obviously,
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have an emotion for denial.
Mr. Chair, I have one quick,
Yes, go ahead.
for the fees involved, is this still under the $50? Is that good till end of 2021? Is that something that should maybe be relooked at for these special uses? Because I do believe that we should look at this next summer, as we didn't really have a lot of issues. But I also think that we kind of threw out a number, and, that could maybe be reevaluated. So that was just one of the things for consideration I had thought of.
So any further questions? So if, by voting yes, you denied it. By voting no, you approve the,
Second on the motion.
that was
There was a
second.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seconded
she did,
it.
yeah. So on the motion for denial, all in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
No?
Waiting for the
All in
next.
favor? No,
No,
No.
no.
well, you gotta
No.
ask that part.
So 3-2.
So the motion would fail, it goes back to discussion.
Yes.
If there's a motion would be in order right now. Someone wants to
Yes.
make a motion.
Okay, I have a discussion,
Go ahead.
I need to discuss something, as Alderwoman Keene brought up. If we are looking at this, and Mr. Budiak is setting precedent in this and saying, okay, we're extending it for 6 months, are we extending it for anyone, or is it just for Mr. Budiak
So
today?
the applicant followed a totally separate process from that expedited permit. It's the old process, which the fee would just simply cover however long you approve it. He could, I don't know if the fee changes, whether it's for a day or for a year. And I think that's what Alderperson Keene was talking about. But either way, he's the only one who is actually following the original process. No one else has done this that I'm aware of.
Okay, so these other extensions will not be granted as an open extension of premises like we were doing. This is specifically for Paul.
This is specifically for Polly's and Field Trip, or the two applications before the committee. All the temporary extensions are only gonna be approved until November 4th, if they are approved tonight. They have been approved, so they're only good till November 4th. We'll be
Okay.
considering them again on the 4th.
And that was part of my consideration, is I thought it was for all that Polly was coming, because as you said, you were the first to come on board and kind of set this framework.
I had to do all the paperwork for the normal stuff, and then what they did, they extrapolated, when Steve and I sat down, we extrapolated and said, because so many people are gonna be asking about this, if they have to go through all these, and you guys, you'd be here for 6 months. So we said, what is the easiest way to streamline for other people? Not for myself. And that's what it came up with, and it seems like it's been a really good boon to the community. And I think there are ways to do stuff for Brass Monkey, how they have theirs set up. They can do stuff in winter. You know, you have a snowman building contest, something, you
Right.
know, things like that. And I know how many people have come up to me and like crying and like saying thank you for doing something, because we can't do this anymore. So we're trying to do that, and if the limits on things we impose, and we really, really watch what we're doing. There are times when it's outside, because it's outside, adults are adults. People are gonna do what they do. We make sure they don't fight. We make sure that they are not overserved. We make sure that everybody gets home safe. So that's kinda how our summer has gone. But it's been stressful, because every single day, I was under the impression that every day this could be pulled away from me. So for 5 months, I haven't slept every single day. I have put money on the line. We've canceled things because either bands have COVID or things that have happened that we want to err to the caution. When I talk to City West Dallas Health Department, which is twice a week, they'd say no, not hardly anybody else talks to them. I talk to them so I can go and go, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? Because the court of public opinion, if I look like I'm killing someone, I'm done. And I can't do that, but I also wanna be able to go, okay, I'd like to at least get one piece of the puzzle set and go, okay, now I can make sure that if it's within our monetarily bounds, to be able to provide a service for my customers, for the community, that we can do that. And I'm always proactive, and I always try to do stuff before the end deadline. So if something comes up,
Mr. Budiak, I really appreciate you shedding some light as to how you operate your business. I was under the impression, like I said, that this was kind of being piloted for all of the extensions to be approved
We're on their own.
here forward. Okay. So with that being said, I really do appreciate you explaining that to me. That changes things in my opinion, and I guess we can visit what I do deem this as being something that was piloted, that in the face of adversity that we are all under with COVID as businesses, that maybe something good can come of it, and maybe we can look at organizing and looking at how we can make this a year-round thing for businesses, as long as there's not problems. And you
Right,
are
and-
setting a good example on that. I do
Right,
appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When church festivals come back, this is not even gonna be up, I'm not gonna compete against them. When Brewers come back full-time, when Packers, when Bucks, there is no reason for me to do that when there's a Summerfest and a State Fair.
Right.
But I know in my heart of hearts, I want State Fair, I've talked to them, I've given away tickets for next year already. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Totally, I believe we heard already enough from
Yeah, thank you.
previously, you know, so it seemed like we grind the same thing over and over, so go ahead, Alderman.
So, if we would do this as a 6-month period, that would take us to the end of April, which it usually starts warming up sometime in April, right? So heaters wouldn't be needed anymore.
And it would be a different type of tent.
As long as you're pulling field trip off of it, I have no problem making a motion that we grant this through April, for a
And-
6-month period.
And if I may, I
Yes.
think we're gonna be probably looking at this honestly from a Memorial Day to Labor Day situation.
Yeah.
So would that make sense just to open it up at Labor Day? I mean, at
Have it go
Memorial
till
Day?
Memorial Day?
Yeah, extend it
So
to
whatever
Memorial
our
Day.
meeting
and-
is right before Memorial Day,
Yeah, and then we can revisit and say, okay, if this is something that we're gonna do, hopefully our numbers with COVID are gonna be improved and we don't have to.
so the amendment.
But I think we have a good thing going if
At least.
businesses are
Right.
setting a good example, and
Right,
this is,
You can space people out.
Right.
You can only lead a horse to water.
So we have a motion,
Well,
there's a second,
wait a second.
We're
Vince.
still working on a date.
May
Yeah.
18th
Oh,
would
May
be
18th,
our,
the date,
would be
okay.
our second May,
Second
meeting.
so
Tuesday.
you could select that date, it would then cut off, though, at that point, so you have to make a decision by then, it would not cover you for Memorial Day.
So you're saying we need to make a decision by May 4th?
Oh, should we give them Memorial Day?
Or that day, the 18th as well, that's a council meeting date.
Yeah, that's a council meeting date.
So you could do it to then, but like I said, you'd have to then consider again prior to Memorial Day.
What's the first one in June, first Tuesday?
That's
It's
June 1st.
June 1st.
Let's do that.
Let's
Then that's gonna
do-
be right into
is there
Memorial
31
Day.
days in May?
Do you have an event on Memorial Day
There
typically?
is.
Typically that weekend we do, yeah.
Right, so let's just
So-
extend it to that, and then I'm sure we'll be revisiting this for the special use, so.
June 1st.
Mhm.
We
If I
just-
may then, Mr.
Yes.
Chair, to phrase what I believe the motion to be is to approve item 39 with an amendment from October 31st, 2021 to June 1st, 2021, and then deny as it relates to number 40.
Yes,
Is that the motion?
November 1st, 2020.
yeah, 20, not 20, not October 2021.
2021, is that what it is?
Yes,
Correct.
Yeah, June
June
1st,
1, 2021.
21, yes.
June 21.
So not October 31st, 2021, but instead June 1st, 2021 for item 39,
yes.
which is Polly's.
Yep.
Field trip number 40 would just be denied outright.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I understood the motion.
Can I
Thank you.
hear a second?
Second.
All in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The aye have it.
And
So,
then motion to deny item 40, correct?
That was
Right.
already,
That was
I
part of
interpret it
that.
to be
That
part
was
of the
part
motion.
of it.
Yeah,
motion.
39 is, that's
Accept
it.
upon denial that way.
So anything else
Alright.
coming from the committee?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for.
sorry for putting you under the fire there again,
Don't worry,
Polly, but
I-
thank you for being clear on it.
Seriously, I've been substance marked, so.
Yeah.
And I know a lot other people haven't either.
Yeah. Thank you much.
We got it.
What's that?
I really forgot about tables.
Yeah, that's why I reminded you, 'cause
Yeah.